joining us on the line right now is South Bend Common Council member Jake Teshka. Jake, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you, Casey?
I'm hanging in there. Been a while since we've chatted. So we've known each other for a while now, and going back long before you even ran for office. Of course, you're the only Republican on the Common Council, and
That's
now
right. It makes caucus meetings very short.
I'll bet. So now you have announced that you are going to run for state representative in the 7th district. So tell us what kind of led to that decision, because you just made this announcement this week.
Sure. You know, it's something that's been, I guess, on the radar for some time. I've been approached about it in the past, and it never felt like the right time, specifically for our family. And look, let's be honest, it's not the right time for my family now, and I don't know that it ever will be. But we've got two small kids at home, and a wife who's a saint, and so you know, it's one of those things where you really have to balance what's this going to mean in terms of our family life and time away from home. But it was a couple of weeks ago, just before Christmas, I started getting phone calls, and one phone call led to another phone call, and folks were just asking and encouraging me to run. And so, you know, we took another look at it. You know, my wife and I are people of faith, so we prayed hard on it. We talked to family, friends, and some of the folks that we trust most, and finally landed on this decision that, you know, we feel like this is something that we're being called into. It's going to be tough. You know, our 2020 was supposed to be a year where I've been joking that, you know, it's supposed to be a year where we didn't buy or sell a house, have a baby, or run for office. You know, we were just going to kind of chill out for 2020, and that's kind of gone up in flames now. But you know, so we're all in. We're jumping in with both feet, and we're excited to get on the trail and talk to the voters of the 7th district.
Now, of course, you're going to be running against the incumbent Democrat Ross Deal, who's confirmed that he has filed for re-election. So how did those conversations go, Jake? Were they saying, did they see a weakness there? Did they see something that would make your opponent vulnerable, which kind of led to, hey, let's reach out to Jake and have him do it? Or, I mean, really, how did that conversation unfold?
Yeah, you know, I think there's a combination of factors here. Some of them are political factors, right? What does the political timing look like? In 2020, we've got a presidential year, and we've got a strong top of the ticket, right? President Trump, we've got Governor Holcomb. Both of those officials should drive out turnout for Republicans, and so you know, that should help folks down the ballot, including myself. And with Ross Deal having never run district-wide before, you know, we should be starting out on a level playing field in terms of name ID. And so, you know, the time politically is now. And so that's certainly a factor. And then, you know, another thing that I heard from folks was, look, we need somebody from this area to represent us who's part of the majority, right? This part of our state gets overlooked all too often by Indianapolis, by Democrats and Republicans alike. And so, you know, I'm one that has never been afraid to buck my party, and there are issues that I will break from the caucus on, and Governor Holcomb, he's a dear friend of mine. There's issues that he and I disagree on, and so we can do that respectfully, and I'll go down there and I'll fight for my district and fight for my beliefs, and no matter what party's standing in my way, we'll continue pushing forward.
And just to kind of clarify something that Jake mentioned about his opponent not running district-wide, he was basically elected to fill out Joe Taylor's term back in 2018. So this could be an opportunity where you're kind of, even though he has been in there for a couple of years, you're kind of stepping in with somebody who hasn't run for the office yet.
It plays like an open race.
Exactly. All right, so you heard the state of the state. You're running to represent the 7th district in the state. What are some of the things that you liked and didn't like about the state of the state yesterday?
Sure. You know, I think, you know, first and foremost, you know, Governor Holcomb is just an upstanding guy. He's a great leader for our state. You know, the key takeaways from that are, you know, the state's commitment to ensuring that some of the issues that we've seen with the Department of Child Services, that those are corrected, that DCS is moving in a positive direction with the right leadership moving forward into the future, addressing our infant mortality rate, which is, you know, one of the bottom in the nation. And then, look, education is on everybody's mind, right? Teacher pay. How do we direct more dollars to the classroom? How does the state, right? This is one of those things where we don't want to take away local control, but if the local districts keep allocating dollars that the state is giving them to bloated administrative costs, what can we do at the state level to ensure that more of those dollars are reaching the classroom? And that includes teacher pay, but it also includes course materials and other things that our students need to achieve at a high level. And so I think that those are going to be key moving forward. And then look, the work that they're doing right now on healthcare and requiring providers to give estimates in terms of the pricing. I think I've said for a long time that one of our biggest flaws in our healthcare system is not it's not the insurance companies, it's not all of these other outside factors. It's the fact that people don't know how much this stuff costs, and so that leads to rising costs because the hospitals and other folks can get away with charging pretty much whatever they want. They've got a blank check.
Now, have you heard anybody in any of the levels of politics in the state of Indiana talk about direct primary care or direct patient care type of health care in the state, which is what I have? And it's $150 a month for a family of four. We get our medications cheaper than over-the-counter stuff at Walmart. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, I think that's more and more something that folks are looking at. And I know that we do have a couple of, they call them direct care, or I've heard different names for them, like private care doctors, and we've got a few in our area. And so, we'd love to see, more competition in that marketplace, obviously, is part of my worldview. The more the competition in the marketplace, the better it is for the consumer. And so, I think having transparency in pricing will help drive some of that competitiveness.
Now, are you at all concerned, because you did just win re-election, and this is a question that I'm already seeing out there, is Jake Teshka just won re-election. He's the only Republican on the South Bend Common Council, and here he is. He's just announced that he's going to run for another office. Are you at all worried that in this area you might get some blowback from that? Like people would feel like maybe you're abandoning your post? Or do you think that this gives the Republican Party a better option to retain the seat by giving whoever replaces you, should you win this race, almost, 3 years, I guess, to go ahead and actually devote to the office?
Sure. So, one of the key points that my wife and I and trusted advisors have kind of tossed around these last couple of weeks, besides our family life, has been, what about the 5th District in South Bend? I care about these people. I'm in these neighborhood meetings. We are talking to the folks on the doorsteps. We are getting the phone calls, the emails, and being responsive to all of them. And so it was a big concern for me. What is it going to look like with me launching this campaign, having just won re-election? And, I'll tell you, in the last, 24 or more hours since announcing this campaign, I have just been flooded with calls from my constituents in the 5th District who say, yes, if you win, we're going to miss you, but we're all behind you 100%. And they're so supportive, and I've been just blown away by it. And then I think you're right. So when I'm successful this fall, the Republican Party will have its precinct committeemen gather together in a caucus and select a replacement. That person will then have 3 years left on that term to make their own mark and move forward in 2023 with hopefully a great record to run on.
Well, Jake, we appreciate your time this afternoon, and we wish you the best of luck in the new race. And I'm sure once you get everything all organized and set up, if you don't have anything available for me now to promote, we'd love to have you back on to promote your websites. If you don't have it, I would assume that you don't, but I could be wrong. Do you have anything available to promote or no?
Yeah, not yet. So okay. the website domain is going to stay the same. It's going to be jaketeshka.com, but if you go there now, it'll have city council related things. So as this thing, like I said, it's not something we expected. As we ramp up, those things will start to take shape. But appreciate you having me on, and would love to talk to you anytime. Absolutely. Appreciate it, and best of luck to you, Jake. Thank you very much. Thank you. Take care. All right, take care. And again, that's it's Common Council member Jake Teshka, who is now announced this week, yesterday, in fact, that he is running for the 7th Indiana state representative seat, and he's going to be doing that in November. And again, you heard this is a question that came up yesterday, but you also heard that, when the Republican Party selects his replacement, should he win that race, that replacement will have 3 years to build a record in the South Bend Common Council, which they could hopefully run a re-election with. So this could potentially be a benefit to the Republican Party in South Bend on the Common Council as well. I wish Jake all the best. I've known him for a long time. He's a good guy. We've got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.